Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I see what they're saying. The top, mid, low.
Top, mid, low?
Yeah, it's the top. They're the
Top, mid, low, but then they maybe change it to high, mid, low.
you know what they're saying is top, the top scale,
The
the top
scale.
row.
Yeah.
You got three values going across.
Yeah, I just gotta read the scale out there, but basically.
125.
Should be
45.
Like I said, I haven't looked at this in a little while. So what they're saying, they're calling the numbers, this 100 is the top, and then the 20 is the mid, and the 4 is the low. So that's the term they're using when they say top, mid, and low. The top row, mid row, and the lower row. And they've got that stated here, right here.
What is like the full deflection on the MSA? Does that mean like how accurate it's off, or how off it is?
Yes.
5% off.
50, 100, 150.
I'll have to read it.
It's
I'm trying to remember the
0,
term.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then 0,
2,
6, 8.
Okay, so you're looking at 11.
Yeah, I'm looking at 10 and 11 down here. It says 5%, plus or minus 5%.
Okay, that's in the owner's manual. So
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So it's basically telling you the percentage that it's off according to.
Okay, so for 10 and 11 on the bottom, the owner's manual is going to tell you, they're in there, it's going to tell you the accuracy of this meter. And then it's asking you what the percentage of accuracy for a quarter scale deflection. And so you're thinking, what the heck, how do I do that? Well, they've got the formula right there. So you take the value of the accuracy and what's
Quarter. So
I'm trying to remember the terminology for each one. FSD is full scale deflection.
So it's the 0.
So full scale deflection I'm saying is the 50, right? The 50 value. And then the MSA is manufacturer stated accuracy. And then your actual deflection. So there's enough, I know there's enough information.
This is their definition. So it means determine the meters manufacturer's stated accuracy.
A quarter scale deflection is going to be, you know, a fourth of the way up. 50% deflection is going to be in the middle. 100% would be full deflection.
2% of full scale. Linear multi-scale. The linear voltage scale. Linear.
I remember it's somewhere in here. Did I know it? Polarity reverse functions.
You guys need an actual.
Oh, no, good.
You? No. This is plus or minus 10%.
Well, they got that. Well, they
Oh, it's right here. Here.
I think the actual deflection would be the quarter scale, the fourth, right? What is the percentage of accuracy for a quarter scale? So we determine what full scale deflection is.
Did we say 2%?
It's in there, I don't remember what it is.
We're looking at, we see 2%.
For DC voltage ranges.
Where are you seeing that in here?
Page,
Page 3.
3, I think.
Okay, I think if we're using a full-scale deflection of 50, a value of 50,
Page 9.
I'm thinking you do the 50
Okay,
full-scale
so
deflection
it's
times the
So
manufacturer stated percentage divided by 0.25, which would be a
2%.
quarter
Oh,
deflection.
there it is. Yeah, 2% of
I
full
see
scale.
2% on page
Yeah,
10.
that's what it says.
Yeah, it's 2% on page 10.
Can we go with
It's right here. Page,
So it's 2% times.
Plus or minus.
Okay, so
So now we're gonna do that, so we're gonna go.
FSD,
So 2% of accuracy. What's MSA? What's MSA manufactured? So 2%. So it's 0.25 times.
For this one in the 10?
2%. Yeah.
I think no, I think that's just going to be for the answer for number 10. Is it says from the operator's manual determine the needles so that's what number 10
Okay,
is.
so it's
Now, 11 is what the percentage accuracy of the needle. So you would take the 2% times that divided by manufacturer. Oh no,
to be
yeah,
0.5.
so it'll be 0.25 times
0.25 and 0.02.
So we take
times
it.
0.02 divided by AD, which is the actual deflection.
So
What scale are we gonna use?
What did you get on that?
What
I
volt?
don't know what the actual
I would
deflection
think
is.
that no matter whichever one you use,
The question is what's the actual
same
deflection?
answer.
What's
Yeah,
your
let's
2
go with
times?
the 50, the 50.
0.02 times
So
0.25.
quarter would be about 15.
0.05.
So 5 times 10 to the 3.
So
Or 10
15
to 5 times 10 to the negative 3, but then it's divided by AD.
So what's
So you
your,
have to find out what AD is, which is
divided
what
by
is 80?
50.
actual
That's what
deflection.
I'm gonna go with. Okay, so I'm going 50
What is actual deflection?
times.
These are all new terms for me.
Wouldn't it be full-scale deflection, which would be the 50? 50,
Yeah,
50,
15 times 50, right?
50 times, and what was
0.02.
0.02?
They're going,
2%.
they're going 50 times 0.02.
50 times 0.02.
Full scale deflection. Yeah, the reason why is because
Full scale deflection is 50. MSA manufactured, yeah, so it would be 50 times 0.02 divided by
0.25 is
Point-
full
point
scale
two.
deflection.
divided by
Or what is that? That's
I got
15.
a question. How did you get 50 when at full scale it says a quarter, right?
Okay, what's that?
Okay.
Times 0.02.
If it says a quarter, so if you have 250 as a full scale deflection.
Okay, for 10 and 11,
I need to stop.
What's the
Yeah, I know.
What did you have?
The books on this.
6%, 6.7%.
But I don't think it's such cost.
I got
Oh.
4%, and that's what I got.
I'm not saying
That's not what I have either.
You're just sorry.
We got 6.
This is your first one.
Okay.
What is it?
They say
8%.
So you're about
Well,
to
we're
get
closer to that.
Huh? You're about to be done.
Okay, so what they're asking, that formula, full-scale deflection is either 250, 50, or 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what they're telling you is that you pick one of those,
Okay.
and you multiply that. Would be so. Suppose we use 250. That's full-scale deflection.
Okay.
Full scale is here,
All right.
and it deflects to full scale 250. So then they're saying you multiply that times the 0.02, which is the 2% accuracy. So you multiply 250 times 0.25. Then they were saying underneath it would be the actual deflection. And the actual deflection is where the needle is sitting. And they're telling you they want to know where it is at a quarter deflection.
And a quarter deflection here.
So a quarter
We're at
deflection,
250.
we're assuming that they're saying a quarter deflection, that's where the needle is sitting.
62.45.
I got 75.
So you're saying it'd be 250 but divided by 4.
So if I do 250 times 0.02 divided by 0.25,
0.667.
Divided by
and I'll get a value. If I do 50 and do the same thing, I should get the same number.
Yep.
If I do 50 times the 0.02
So it's
divided
so
by
let's do the
Becomes
0.25, which would be a 1/4,
250 times.
I should get the same number.
we keep coming up with
Divided by
0.666%.
so it's 20.
Okay, so it is, so what you do is you say it's,
How'd you get point?
you
There
get
you
eight,
go.
the way you get eight, is you
What's
take
the
the
value that
250
we put
times
there?
0.02. And then what you say is it's a quarter scale deflection of 250, so you're 0.25
Is
times.
the percentage? Exactly for percentage.
Okay, so
Oh,
So you
so,
have to multiply.
but here's what I wanna ask you. So you're saying on the
Manufacturer.
top, on the 250
So
scale,
it's
you're
saying
saying
that
62.5
should be the same
I would just
between.
go right there. 75, I would get 75.
okay, so there's a couple of options.
Okay.
Suppose I use the top row.
Figured it out.
And did you get 8?
Yeah.
He worked it backwards.
I worked it back. So you do, so you got the top scale at 250,
Okay,
Times
and it's a
0.02.
2% accuracy factor, so
Times 0.02. Yeah. You get 5.
equals 5.
yeah, divided by, so what they say is this quarter scale deflection, so I did 0.25 times the 250. That gets you 62.5.
But see, that's where we're having problems. Well, maybe it is.
So if you divide that by 62, you'll get your 8%.
Okay, I'm still trying to catch up. Either do the full scale times the accuracy, and you got 5.
Yeah. Now they're saying it's a quarter scale deflection. Well, if we're using the 250 scale, I just multiply 250 by 0.25. And that gives
Yeah,
you
that gives you
62.5.
Got it.
And then that'll give you 8%. That's the number they have.
Okay, so if we're using the top scale, and we get a quarter
You're
deflection,
getting a quarter of the
The
whole entire.
the
thing.
two-
Yeah, it makes sense.
a
Yeah,
fourth of 250 is
62.5.
62.5.
It should work.
And then we divide that by the,
Oh, and that's why it should be the same answer
Yeah.
throughout.
8%. That all works.
and then we divide that by,
5 divided by 62.5.
Yeah, they give you a 0.08, but that's 8.
Because what they're doing is
5
this.
divided
You
by
got 250
62.5.
62.5.
Equals
Yeah,
5.02.
0.08, which is 8.
That's 5. But now you go to the 250. Say 250, you take a quarter of the 250. So 0.25 of 250 is 62.5.
Yeah,
They put
That's
that on
gonna
the,
be
yeah, they put that on the bottom.
it's gonna be your actual deflection, which is 80.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So because you want to keep the units the same.
So I'm looking back at,
So they,
And then so this is multiplied though, right? Instead of it being divided.
That makes
So
sense.
250 times 0.02 divided by 62.5. And then so let's say if we did 50, right?
so
we
the
did
full
50,
scale deflection
And then
is
times
the
0.02, right?
250,
We get
and
that
this
one. Now we
MSA
take
is
50
the,
times 0.25. which is
0.02,
a quarter of
the
that
2%.
deflection, which is gonna be 12.5. So you're taking 1
we
divided
multiply
by
those
12.5.
two together and we got
Which is?
5.
100%.
Then we divided 5 by the actual deflection, and they told us it was a quarter deflection. So a fourth of the 250 was the 62.5. So we divide the 5 by the 62.5. That gave us 0.08. Now if we do the same thing with the other scale, you get the same number. So if I go down and use the 50 scale and do the 50 times 0.02, I get a
no, I
number.
mean, you're
And then a quarter of the 50 would be 12 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have
1 divided by
0.25 times the 50 is 12.5. So you have 1 divided by 12.5.
okay, so I lose.
Which is 0.08, 8% again, plus or minus 8%.
I got it.
I don't remember this on the test.
No, this isn't on the test. The only place, I think this is the only time you do this.
Oh, that's good.
I'm pretty sure you do. This is the only time.
It'll also be a plus or minus, right? On the 8%.
Yeah, and they give you a range in the owner's manual, plus or minus.
Okay.
Why did I never see that?
I know there's some of you still lost.
No, I think I'm good.
So now we're going to.
So that's the first part. And then it's the second part.
The second part didn't really give us much information, so maybe another
Section B.
section B, so we got.
Non-linear of the analog. So we're gonna do analog. Let's grab one of the analogs.
Is that's not an analog?
Oh, it's stupid, bro.
Don't worry about it.
It's non-linear.
It's non-linear is the scale of the very top one.
That's all
It's
you
not,
know.
yeah, but it's still non-linear.
What
Look
letter
at the way.
is
This is
the
linear
uppermost
because it's got,
non-linear scale? What's
it's all linear.
Okay, you're right. It says what letters are symbols and those are the uppermost non-linear scales. Number one is symbols, right?
Yep.
And what's the
Questions.
so it says right here, it says procedures, and it has all these questions right here. Now for section B, it's right here.
So what letters or symbols is that?
So that's gonna be
Where's
over,
the range there on that? I can't see.
What is the range of the scale?
right?
From left to right.
0.
Letters or symbols from
Infinity.
Infinity.
Infinity and beyond.
0 to infinity.
Which is a
When
silent
it goes the
eight.
other way, so infinity.
It goes from 0 to infinity.
So infinity to 0.
Zero on the left or right side of the scale.
Is that what number 2 says? What is the range from infinity to?
Yeah, it will be infinity to 0 because you're going from left to right because that's where that is.
How many numbered primary graduations?
Infinity to 0.
Okay,
Okay,
Now,
now.
the question is the 0 on the right or the left of the scale? It's on the right of the scale. Number 4, how many numbered primary graduations are there?
Primary ones. So remember the primary was
Infinity is
the
60.
between, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's numbers.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
Number of secondary divisions per primary will remain the same. It's the number of secondary divisions remain the same. So in between these numbers,
22,
No,
23,
they changed
24, 25, 26.
I
Right?
think primary is the right
It
one.
changed, it says no.
So it's in between this one and that one.
What do you got?
Oh, okay.
Two, three,
millimeter scale sketching the primary and secondary graduation. So they want us to sketch what you're seeing. That's what they're
Wants to sketch it.
And
It just says less than the thing.
12,
yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah. 22 or 23.
I think you need to put that on the,
Yeah, you wanna put ours up there?
or you put ours on
We're
the.
doing a
So we can, we're on the non-linear on the whole side.
Those are for sure primary though.
Yeah, he said secondary, he
Figured
said
it'd be
we're in
easier for all of us to see.
We're in
there.
between.
two, but primary
The
is
real
between
box,
the,
the real center box.
the main,
Oh, the real one,
large
yeah.
We can put ours up there,
Yeah.
we can see it too.
That's what he said.
You gotta draw it.
We gotta draw it on you, like, there we go, so it's like.
Yeah, so we.
So, sir,
Yes,
what's your name again?
Scott.
Scott. Alright, so the primary, you said we're in between the large, ones
Yeah, the primary,
On the ohm scale.
and the ohm scale.
okay, on the ohm scale,
It would be
primary is gonna be between
The numbers, right?
the larger lines.
Yeah, the large ones.
including the larger lines
The
too.
secondary is gonna be between the smaller ones.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is a, between the 40 and 50, this is a primary right in here. Including, it's the space, not the lines. And then in between here, that would be a secondary. So here between 15 and 20, these are secondaries.
Alright, so we count that.
And then the primary is between the larger lines.
So, for example, like between the 2
0 to
and the 0,
There's two primaries.
Between 2 and the 0, there's two primaries.
Got it. Got it.
and what about let's say between the 10 and the 5?
Between the 10 and the 5, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 primaries.
Okay. Got it.
200 is 5.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
I see 1,000.
11, 12, 13.
If you're still
14,
working on 10 and 11, if you want a clarification,
16,
I did the formula doing the 250 scale and the 50 scale, and it comes out to 0.08.
They want primary and secondary.
26,
The tricky-
27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32,
Yes.
33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47,
I'm giving you the only one I have.
Fifty sounds right.
That sounds right too.
Sounds right, man.
Because remember
Don't
the
hesitate
secondary
to ask
divisions of the primary divisions remain the same?
Well,
The number of secondary divisions.
Does the number of secondary divisions of the primary numbers remain the same?
No, it doesn't. It doubles, isn't it?
Well, it looks like here.
Okay, the primary
So for instance, like right here, this would be, that's the primary, right? So the
space.
secondary is gonna be
It's
from
the whole,
from
it's the
right
longer
here
line.
and right here.
So
it'd
this
be
is the
4 of
primary,
them
that's the
between 0 and
primary.
2.
Yeah, that's the
So
secondary.
between here and
So,
here,
but look how much
there are
it
two
changes.
primaries,
Yeah, it
between here
changes.
there are
How many
three.
secondaries? One, two,
The
three,
secondaries
four,
are gonna be the spaces in between. So there's
Yeah,
five,
there's 10 primaries, or
there's
secondary.
five primaries,
Yeah, I'd say that.
five secondaries
There's
between
5
here and here,
secondaries.
10 secondaries between
Yes.
there and there.
Yes.
So the
Wait.
the secondary is the space
The rangers handle like.
between the shorter lines.
What's going on, man?
That makes sense. But it looks like they changed the number among secondaries.
And they will, they'll change in here, we
So
still
that's the answer
consider
right
them,
there.
Imagine the following.
Does the number of secondary divisions of the primary numbers remain the same? No. That's a no.
no, and that's because it's a non-linear
Oh,
scale.
Romeo.
Yeah. So the answer is no.
On a linear scale, I would expect them to be equal.
Using the blank meter scale sketch in the primary and secondary. So basically, we're gonna just
So.
Sketch
let's
that.
see.
On this,
yeah. So this is 0. And this is
About
infinity.
It just shows 10B, okay, so the next one.
it's gonna be like right here, 1. It's gonna be like 2 right here, right?
Yeah. We go 0, 2,
0,
1, 0, 2,
2.5 volts.
Because
and then 1. That doesn't make sense.
What do you mean 0,
Yeah.
2K, and then 1K.
Oh, those are thousands, bro.
Yeah,
We're talking about
2,000, and then to 1,000?
No, no, it goes from 500 to 1,000 to 2,000.
2.5, that's the smallest one.
Oh, I got
Oh, wait, there's one volt.
it. That's right, it's because we're going back to
Yes, yeah, use the 1 volt.
10 volts.
Yeah.
10 volts.
Okay.
Just make that-
1.
1 volt.
Make that 1 volt.
1 slash 10 volt.
So 10 volts. Are you gonna put a slash?
Well, because it's the same. You have to.
It's gonna be really rough.
Oh, I see, you're doing, you're looking at that. I mean, I
There's 215 volts.
Yeah, you could go 1 volt, and just, 10 volt, 1 volt.
Right.
Oops, I put it in the wrong spot.
Yeah, it's,
G is.
C.
So no. Where'd 1C go?
This is so bad, dude. This is like,
But you put the secondary.
is that what it's asking?
It says sketch the primary and secondary. So technically speaking,
Okay, I'm just gonna do all the lines.
You might have
The
a
next one is
value of 5.
to the right, and that's 75 volts.
so 1, 2, 3, 4,
250.
So it's kind of like under the, it's like they all kind of have 4
About 2A and 2B.
little secondaries, which make,
Okay, well, that's the next
and then they
question.
start between the 40 and 30, and they start really just going with 1 primary.
Record your interest in space.
That's easy. Good. Done with that, man. What's next? Section C. Section C. Imagine that following DC voltages are to be measured: 6 volts, 0.0685 volts, and 250
They want
volts.
you to learn that.
Oh, okay. So it's gonna ask us to draw the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
So one is 6 volts. Point 0.06.
Yeah.
Yes. I do. I don't mind showing you the answers. I'll do that most of the time. I do like you to work through them.
Okay, so this one's really.
Oh no, I know. I absolutely agree.
This one's really simple. Remember when he was talking about the bolts? Right?
Oh, we were wrong about the four.
Which one was it?
The primary.
How many were there?
How many number of primary graduations are there? So we were right the first time. I called it 16.
How is it 16, man?
He's one.
They counted them.
We counted it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Oh, we're
12,
really off.
13,
This answer here,
14.
should always be 1A, 1B, 1C, 1C, D.
Whatever. You understand them, right? We were right about everything else.
Fair, so I'm just trying to figure out like.
Just the way this thing
That makes sense.
reads.
Okay, so this one looks pretty. Oh, okay, I understand. 10 volts.
So this is just asking us
To draw them in.
to draw them in. I'm just trying to figure out if
So pretty much a
1A,
number on this
B, and C
voltmeter.
are
Oh, yeah, you
transpose these numbers over here.
There's a bunch of
We got this one.
So I'm gonna turn this video.
Okay, we got
Section C?
2A though.
Where's the voltage?
so
what is the reading on the top most non-linear scale on the pointer? Is it like this?
I would have done it different than the way they did it. I'm happy with it.
12 ohms.
Oh, right in the middle.
This one's really easy, dude.
Imagine the following these
And then the next one is 250.
It's about.
Imagine the following these.
But the other one should be 250.
So all we're doing is just drawing, we're just gonna draw that
Yeah.
part. We're gonna-
Where you want the sweet spot there, it should be.
So we want the sweet spot there. Because you said every time we use it one size bigger.
Wait.
So the 10 volts, and so if we're getting 6 volts, we want the 10 volts, right?
Okay,
So we're gonna put it.
Oh, to run it on that. I see what
We're
you're
gonna
saying.
get 10 volts on that thing,
Oh, the sweet spot, sweet spot.
and it's so it's a 6 volts. So
For B, is we're gonna go.
so we
to-
just draw the bottom of 2, 3, 4, 6.
Well, we can look at these right here too,
Yeah,
right?
because
Yeah.
you've got
I mean,
so
0.685. We're looking at a 2.5.
This one here is 1B.
Yeah, so what you do is you're gonna set it at the 10, right?
That's
And then you're gonna look at the scales. So it's gonna be the needle will sit. It's just asking you where's the needle gonna sit. So the needle's gonna sit right here at the 6.
215.
Because so it's asking for the drawing 0, 2.
This one isn't due until, I put it down for not due till Thursday.
Let's get done right now.
That's probably way too much time, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so there it is.
Uh,
The needle's gonna
we've
go
got-
out for that one.
Another hour, and then we've got lab. Well, tomorrow's all lab.
So what do we do?
I expect you to be able to be finished. So I may bump these up a day, just so we don't get behind.
Okay, so
And you're still gonna get
I
plenty
do
of
the same.
downtime
I
to do
use the same.
a little
meter, except I
studying
just
or
put
reading
decimal.
or, sometimes I get people to put their heads on the table when
So
necessary.
wait, what would we do?
It
We'll go to
happens.
2.5?
What are we going?
But
Nothing?
there will be downtimes in lab, so
I'm
if I
almost
bump it
here.
up a
It's
day, it's not
215,
gonna.
right? For the
it's not gonna
215, we
push you
go
to
to
bind.
250.
Touch the D, right?
For the point
Just turn it on, baby.
For the which one?
685. So
For B.
Let's measure
So do we go to the smallest
on
one?
your DMF.
We go to 1 volt. No, we go to 1 volt. Just like you told me earlier.
Oh, so we just put the decimal.
Oh, let's put the,
Well, because
let's
Well,
put
how
the
do we
meter
do it where we make
measurement
sure
back.
it's, because if we put it at 10, it's gonna go way down here. So
we
how
put
do
it
we
at
make
10?
sure it's at? I got a quick question, Scott.
Yes,
I'm gonna say your name like 500 times.
that's all right.
Scott, so I understand the concept that you go up to the next size, right? What if you get 0.068, right? Then would you use the same? I mean, 10 volt doesn't make sense because then it'd be way down here for 0.068.
much? Is it asking how much you'd
Yeah, it's
measure?
asking for 0.0685 volts.
Okay,
So
so
you
that's
go to
less
the
than a
next-
volt.
So do you go to 2.5, the smallest?
You
one?
could,
Or
but
do
there's
you-
actually a 1 volt option in
I
there. And
don't
that's
know, how can you differentiate between the 10 volts and the 1 volt?
okay. What you do is you're going to keep your black one there, and you're going to move this red one over to the 1 volt.
Okay.
That little value,
And then you use this 10.
and then you're going to use the 10 and pretend that's a 1.
Thank you. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that makes total sense. I'm glad I that would have been
10 volt.
Okay, so in there, at some point, you're supposed to measure 0.68 volts.
Yes.
Okay, so number.
And
That's also the 1 volt selection.
so if you I went over this kind of fast. You could do the 2.5 volts, and it's going to be down in here somewhere. The sweet spot's up in here. You could select the 1 volt, and again, these little mini numbers tell you that you've got to move this positive, red positive lead to somewhere else. And up here, there's a 1 volt spot. So once again, if I select the 10 volt, but I move the positive over to the 1 volt,
It did say amperes. I think it said amperes. So that's ohms, right?
full scale is
No, but
going to
here's the
be
thing.
1 volt,
Those would
and
be
I'm going to
0.8,
pretend that
0.6,
10 is a
0.4,
1.
right?
So that's 1, that's
Well,
0.8,
yeah,
0.6,
theoretically.
4.
That's how it happens.
So that
Okay, cool. So now
0.886,
1C.
if I had to
is
measure
215 volts.
So we put it
0.86,
At the
I'd leave the black, I'd move the positive to the 1 volt, put it on
no,
the
this one, no,
10
it
volt,
was
1
actually
volt
2.
position,
Okay, so
Now
it's
this 10
250 or
becomes
500.
1 volt,
So if you want to do
and I'm going to
500,
be
right here. But if you want
0.86, so I'm going to
250,
be
you
right,
would
that's
do
0.9,
that.
so it should be right in
So
here.
what is
We
it?
look at 250.
It was 0.685.
200,
0.685, yeah.
So
And the
we're at
sweet spot.
250.
Be right in there.
No, it's going lower.
That's
0.9.
0.9.246.
But you want 0.685.
And it's going to be 1.
Oh, 0.6.
0.68.
Yeah,
Okay.
going to be 1.
But it's actually
So
like
24685, so it'd be right below
So
that.
that one, we're going to put
Yeah.
1C is
5.86,
250.
I was going from memory.
That's,
Yeah.
there's 5 out of 4
And
pounds
we're
for
going to
this
go
one.
right there. Like that.
Something like that.
good enough for me.
So good. So how you coming up with those answers? Like we know it does. What's, if you remember ohms, is that's resistance.
That's resistance. Ohms is resistance.
Last one is
So we
75
gotta put
volts.
resistance.
So if we're going to
So
do
we're gonna-
75 volts, we're going to do 250.
No, wait.
Yeah, because think about it. We're going to do 75 volts. If it's on 250, then we can read the
Hey,
75.
I got another question.
Huh?
I wanna theoretically, if I wanna do 75 volts, right? But I wanna use the bottom scale. Can I just put it at? Can I
Okay.
just put it at a higher voltage right here for this deflection?
Okay, but you want to measure 75 volts? Okay, if you put it at 1,000,
I'm not 1,000.
you could go. Well, if it was 1,000,
Yeah, then I could use that.
this would be 1,000. You're going to be way down here.
Right.
So is it better to use 250 at that point?
To measure how much?
75.
75 volts.
Well, it's going to be
Yeah,
down
50
here.
volts is too low, so I'd go 250. So there's 250. That's 200, 150. So it's going to be right on that.
in the middle.
Yep.
Right in the middle.
Yep.
But I was wondering theoretically if I wanted to use this 10. So, you know what I mean?
You
As
know,
a
if it
unit,
was 100,
if it was
if there
100,
was a
it'd
100
work out
option.
pretty good.
but I don't see 100. And I want to think that the other meter, I think one of the pictures that I had 100.
Yeah,
Alright, that's what I was thinking. So what do we decide to use?
so we're going to use the 250 as a
Alright, so 75, there we go.
and then we're going to put 75 as that.
You guys have all tomorrow night to work on this too, and
Oh, we're done.
I'll continue to guide you through
100,
whatever I can or whatever
50,
questions.
200. I don't want to spend all night on these. Oh, okay, section
Now
B.
we have to do the visual. Let's put this away.
Yeah.
Interesting. Bro.
Yeah.
You have your own manual?
Bring it on.
Just put this back the right way.
Okay,
There's two owners.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue.
And then the cords are right here. Yeah. Hold up.
I actually found these voltages.
And then put this away.
So they're
It's like a puzzle, bro.
You use the
There you go.
Here you go.
Yeah, let's get this
You can buy this for $15 there. The Home Depot.
I'm trying to get out here as soon as we've done.
Yeah, we can leave after this one.
Okay, what's the measurement functions available on the DIS? Maybe less than the number of
What is it asking for? This, the measurement functions on your
So basically, this is the same thing. So,
volts, amps.
so you go, these are off right now.
Yeah.
So you go to,
Ooh, did we? Yeah, we had a battery on.
yeah, it has.
12.
So,
This the measurement functions available. So you got volts, which is a measurement here. You got measuring functions. Yeah, volts, amps, and where's that one?
we saw it, just saw it. Ohm, that's ohm.
Yeah, so you get volt amps. There you go.
So, meter,
Well, what kind of, what's
it's called mass. M-A-S.
oh, looks like we got more. Okay, so what this is asking for right here, I'm sorry. Let me get this right. This is asking for the different types of volts. So there's 2 volts, there's an amp here, there's a, you know what I mean? Because look at all the different options.
Well, so the question is, what's the measurement functions available on the DIS? Maybe less than the number of lanes on your answer. So we just start putting fill in all those.
Oh, you mean all the numbers in there?
I think so, yeah. Because those are all functions, right? These are all
Yeah, those
functions.
are all functions.
These are all functions. So we'll start off from there. It'll be 600, 200, 200.
Is that, it's got, for these digital multimeters, I'm a little confused. I know, I'm a little confused about all these symbols.
Okay. Okay, I haven't spent any time showing you the digital yet.
Okay, so that's question. That's question
Oh,
C,
C.
6C.
That's what, 250 volts?
Yeah.
Well, let's just see what he's got.
Now, what's the average?
DC.
Question 6.
MMS.
They come with a user manual?
The digital is
yeah, it's
easier and more convenient to use.
They didn't come.
Obviously, you've got your off in the top. Now you've got 2 volts, and I don't know. Back when I started playing with meters, they put AC and DC next to it. In fact, I think they do that on the Simpson. But they've got this symbol. I think it's a line with dots over it, or yeah, dots
3
over it.
dots under.
Which seems odd, and I don't quite know. So here it is. Here's the DC side, a line with dots under it, which to me is odd, but the one that makes more sense, I kind of do a process of elimination, is the V, the AC is, the little squiggly next to the V is your AC. AC alternates.
That was your question, wasn't it?
So when we measure it like on a different type of meter, say an oscilloscope, the AC tends to do this.
Oscillate.
It oscillates in a wave up and down. It seesaws back and forth. They're literally in the wall. It's almost like if you see the lumberjacks they've got a saw and there's a guy on each end and they're pushing and pulling. That's what AC is doing. It's going back and forth to get the work. On a DC, that saw moves in one direction only. So the work is moving in a direct current where AC is alternating. So the waves, this is the symbol they're using, this little wave. They've only got a little bit of a wave, but that's the AC. If you get your own personal meter, you can even write in there just AC and DC on the plastic. I did that with my first one.
Oh, is that what it is?
So this is volts, DC. The other clue, if you don't remember, is look here.
Amps.
2 and 20 and 200. What do we measure in DC? A volt and a half, little battery, car battery,
Yeah.
12 volts. If you look at the AC,
Yep.
side, the lowest one is 200.
Mhm.
A house is 120 volts. So if you forget the little wave and the line with the dashes, those are your clues too.
All right.
So you're once you get down, this is amps from here down. There's a red line in here. So between those two lines, you've only got two choices for AC volts, 200 and 600.
Good.
And then for voltage range, you've got there should be a line in there. It's not showing on this camera.
Range.
200 millivolts. It must be 200 millivolts. So this goes down to a fraction of a volt.
Yeah, there's a line right below.
1, 2, 3. So 0.2 volts. 2 volts, 20 volts, 100. And 600 volts. Then we'll talk about the rest. Here's the ohms sign. So we're measuring resistance in here. We have an option to check diodes. I don't see what that is. And then in here is current or amps, flow, electrons per second.
VHF.
So I guess the question here,
It's a diode. That's a diode symbol.
And then you got
The other-
transistor.
Okay, so I didn't
That's what they said in the manual.
HFE. Okay.
oh,
Yeah, it's got some other little pin option to stick.
They got a manual.
So
Probably,
it's about-
probably put your transistors in. There's,
Oh, that's right, yeah. All right, so what's the reasoning? 2. What do you got?
Okay, so two.
as a reminder, when you are done with your meter, make sure that it's not in any of the R positions.
So one right there.
The battery will be dead by the time we use it again.
We don't know that one. Let's go to number 3. What's number 3? Operating temperature, I read that. I read that. It was on, right here.
Hello, is that it?
DC voltage, DC current, AC voltage, diode and continuity, resistance, transistor. That's it. Operation instructions. It tells you for each one. So the measurements are DC voltage. Then the next one is what?
AC volts, where are you looking at?
I'm looking at the headlines. DC
Yeah,
voltage.
RMS
Now the
is,
next one is what? DC.
Oh,
current.
DC current measurement.
DC current.
That's a storage.
I know it came up.
Next.
AC voltage.
I know we looked this up last class, and I'll know it when I see it.
Resistance,
Resistance.
diode, and transistor.
Where'd you get 600 volts?
And then we got,
That's it.
that's
That's right,
it.
that's what he's saying.
Does your meter use true RMS or average sensing to measure AC voltage and current?
I don't know.
Root means square. Root means square. It comes from a mathematical formula that calculates effective value of any AC wave shape.
Oh, there's
So-
another one. Continual testing.
Probably the best for you to know right now is that determines the accuracy of the meter. A true RMS meter costs quite a bit more.
Look like latest
And for most troubleshooting, a standard meter will do.
Okay, so
If you were a serious mechanic for anybody, you could use a regular meter and they would provide you with a true RMS.
It doesn't use true RMS.
Anytime you need any tool that's a little above and beyond, the airline will have it in their tool kit for you to borrow. In many cases, they prefer you use their tools if it's a calibrator.
He was just saying that these ones aren't RMS. I think that's what he was saying.
number 2 is another. So you're saying that no, that would be the answer.
They're not, this is not an RMS.
No,
These are not RMS.
no, this This meter costs about between $7 and $8. If this were a true RMS meter, it would be closer to 160.
Oh, what, oh, is it?
I'm sorry, what is RMS stand for?
It's root mean square, and it's.
1, 2, 3.
I could go into it, and I don't know it would mean a whole lot, but it's true RMS is a more accurate meter.
Okay.
Highway.
I'll just take it at that for now. There, number 3 was.
Does your meter
What is
use
the
true
operating
RMS or
temperature
average?
range for your
Average.
It would be average. It's either going to average or it's going to give you a true. And true RMS meters are very expensive.
There's no
Yeah, it's under the certifications. Yeah, it is right there. 64 and 80.
accuracy is specified for a period of 1 year after calibration and it's 18 to 28.
64 to 82.
So,
Oh yeah, 64 to 80.
That's not a very big. That's not a very big range. I thought it'd be a lot bigger.
Okay, so they're not as high as I
Pretty much you're
thought.
supposed to be
True
working on.
RMS meters
I think
range
you work on
from
room temperature.
$100
Alright, number
on up. 200.
number 4 says list the
200,
voltage range
300,
available on the
400.
agenda. So what's the voltage range?
The highest voltage range was what? 2.
So the lowest true RMS meter in here is about $60, and these meters literally cost less than $10.
600. You got AC, 600 DC,
It's asking about DC.
Unless is this all? No, that's almost. Yeah, so it goes all the way to 200. 600.
600. 600
What's
volts.
the amp Micro?
Right?
No, but that's very small.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
600.
600
4 you guys.
volts, right? I'm pretty sure 600 volts. Because it's asking for voltage, so that should be
Yeah,
volts.
600.
So that's for number 4. No, sorry. It says list the voltage range available. So you gotta list them. So
Oh,
220, 200, and 600.
I'm gonna let you guys out of here in about 20 minutes.
Okay, number 5.
Don't expect this every night.
I will.
I'm not that nice.
You're setting the standard.
Well, it's first night, and I think 11 o'clock almost looks it sucks. But
Oh, you know what though?
I don't like
It's
anyone.
202 because it's sectioning it out. So the first one is 200 and little n.
I'm just gonna put 200. Okay, number 5. Well, we determined that it was 600. But just in case.
Bro, these things are so cheap.
600 volts. What's resolution?
Oh, there's your range right there. 200 to 600.
200 milliamps.
200, yeah, 200 mil.
Voltage rating is 600.
Well, that's for number 4, right?
That's number 5. When the instruction manual determine the maximum DC input voltage. So that's 600.
I don't like look at the answers, but I'm guessing
Number 6.
AC range is
When
going to
you
be
say
about
number
200.
5, determine how the
It'll
meter
actually read less. It'll read down
Or no,
to
that's
maximum.
not
The range, maybe that's the
Determine
max,
the
that's the
maximum
ratio.
DC is going to be 20 millivolts, which is 0.2 volts.
So 600. That's
600. I would say that would be
So in the instruction manual, determine maximum DC input.
AC range.
Yeah, it has to be 600.
600.
It has to be
So,
600.
and that's the voltage. Okay.
So we see how
Where's number 6? Why did you
Determine
get
how the
3,
meter
6?
is protected. Is it with a fuse or circuit breaker? Yeah, it's a fuse. It has a fuse. It says right here, it's fuse. It's fuse. No, it's so A is it fuse or is it circuit breaker? So A is fused.
Oh, let's just double check. It would say
So
how
list the amperage of the protective
battery
device.
and fuse replacement. That's what it is. Battery replacement block.
So what's the amperage of the?
What's the maximum amperage?
It says list the amperage of the protective device.
What's amperage?
It's 200 milliamps to 200 volts.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
How do you know that?
That's what it says. Because
Well, where does it say?
it says fuse.
Oh, it's asking for the range of
The range of the fuse.
before we blow it?
Yeah, exactly. So 200 milliamps to 250 volts.
That doesn't seem very close. 200 milliamps.
Van Andrews is here, yes? Thank you. I'm just going through the rules to make sure. Adrian,
Last question number
thank
6.
you.
It says,
Jonathan
what's
Bauer.
the voltage range of this protected?
Ralph.
250.
Thank you. Andrew Deans.
Here.
Got it.
Thank you.
Volts DC, that's,
Greg Finch.
So what do you put for
Thank you.
6B?
I don't know how they got that.
Good, yes.
Thank you.
Jesse and Jason are here.
So the first one is just 200.
Andrew Jones.
No, so the second one.
Alright,
Andrew
Okay,
Jones.
that's not
is that it?
No. It says still.
Here's number 7.
It has number 7.
This. You're missing a picture.
Okay, Andrew Jones. Where's he here? He was here.
Is that the end of yours?
Oh, okay. Okay, he's still here. I thought he
That's
was.
the end of yours. It's the end of mine.
Yes, that's it.
And John Jude. Thank you.
Oh, that's a different one.
So that's it. I am done. I am turning this in and I am forgetting all about it.
Tyler's here.
That's a different.